Okay. Good morning, everyone. I think good every afternoon, everyone too. My name is Taohida Mahmud Arian. And today I'm honored to present my thesis title, Negotiating the Flow, a Critical Appraisal of Water Diplomacy between India and Bangladesh. So this work was guided by Tauhiduddin Mahmud, to whom I'm deeply grateful for his mentorship and insight. So let me begin with a story. I'm not going from a theory or a textbook, but from the ground. So basically, this is the story of last year in a quiet village in Feni, Bangladesh, where floodwater rose quite quickly, shallowing homes and rice fields. So there was a character of Rina, a mother of three, woke up to the rising water creeping into her home. With trembling hands, she gathered her children and what little belongings they could carry. Their rice paddy fields, the source of their livelihoods for generations, were now crowded in muddy water. Her husband had to lost his daily wage work due to the flood damaged roads. The local school was closed, clean water was scarce. So for Rina and thousands like her in Feni, Noakhali, Kumilla, and Sylhet in Bangladesh, every flood season is a cruel reminder of nature's fury and human vulnerability. So, do you think these floods are happening only because of climate change or just acts of nature? To be honest, I don't think so. These floods are not just acts of nature, they reflect a deeper crisis rooted in climate change, regional water politics, and the complex management of transboundary river. So now let's move into the research context. Why does the water diplomacy matters? South Asia is a water-rich region, yet a water-conflicted region. Rivers like the Ganges, Brahmaputra, and the Meghna flow across borders, especially between India and Bangladesh. I'm so sorry about this. Okay. So, whenever we saw the flow across borders, Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Meghna, flow across borders, especially between India and Bangladesh, who share over 54 transboundary rivers. But these rivers are not shared equally. River governance has long been unequal, contentious, and now more urgent than ever, especially with climate change intensifying floods and droughts. Recent flood in 2024 and 2025 have badly affected districts like Feni, Noakhali, Kumilla, and Lakshmipur in Bangladesh. Now let's move to my research focus and theoretical frameworks. My research focus in one main questions: how do India and Bangladesh manage their shared river, and what challenges arise in that process? I followed a systematic literature review applying frameworks like hydrohegemony, which explains how dominant countries shape water flows. And secondly, I use political ecology and thirdly, international water law models. And I use it to evaluate fairness and cooperation. So, if we look back to um, our key issues in water diplomacy, then in my research, the evidence shows serious power imbalance and India's upstream control, such as the Farakka barrage built in 1975, has diverted river flows. Okay, river flows, often leaving Bangladesh with water scarcity during dry season and flood in monsoon. The 1996 Ganges Treaty was a positive step, but enforcement has been weak. And the Tista River issues remains deadlocked, mostly due to the political disagreement between India's central government and West Bengal state authorities. And if we look back to my research question, this led me to ask three core questions. How equitable is current India-Bangladesh water diplomacy? And second one is what gaps exist in the implementation of treaties? And most importantly, the third one is there a path towards just and cooperative water sharing models? In my methodology, my method include qualitative analysis of treaty text like the Ganges Treaty 1996 and Tista draft. Reviewing secondary data from scholarly papers, news articles, and government reports, and comparing with international examples of river sharing. After that, if I saw my case study, the Ganges Treaty promised Bangladesh a minimum of 35,000 cosec of water in the dry season. But in practice, the flow often falls below the target. You can say why? Because there is no legal penalty for non-compliance. The treaty relies on goodwill, but that alone is not enough. And the T-strategy is even more problematic, you know. Draft was signed but never implemented. Again, you can ask me why. Because West Bengal's opposition has blocked it for years. Despite India's central approval, so the result is northern Bangladesh face irrigation crisis, hurting agricultural and livelihoods. So here we see hydrohegemony in action. India, as the upstream power, often makes unilateral decision like Farakka, while Bangladesh relies on diplomacy, no legal enforcement. There is no neutral dispute mechanism, and current negotiation lack climate justice lens, despite overseeing floods and droughts. And my comparative insight is when we look internationally, we find better examples like the Indus Water Treaty between India and Pakistan involves the World Bank as a third party guarantor. The Nile Basin Initiative include all stakeholders from upstream to downstream. So I believe we need stronger legal frameworks and third-party mediations for long-term success. So what did my research find? My research find 3 points. Treaties are often political tools, not cooperation solution. And Bangladesh negotiation power is limited, and regional politics often overpowers local human needs. Based on these, I proposed four recommendations: revise existing treaties with enforceable clauses, from a joint river commission 2.0 with real-time data sharing, involve international mediators like UN Water, build climate resilience water sharing models that consider future challenges. And in conclusion, Indo-Bangladesh water diplomacy is not just about agreements, it's about power, equality, and survival. The future of peace and cooperation in South Asia depends on how we share our rivers and whether we treat water as a weapon or a bridge. So let me end with this water must united, not divided. And thank you for listening. I'm Taohida Mahmud Arian, and I deeply appreciate your time and attention. If you have any question, I would love to answer them now. Thank you.